So I'm going to start. Good morning all. Today I'm going to talk about marketing branded residences to Chinese investors. Before I begin, I want to ask a couple of questions. Please raise your hand if you have been to China. Okay, there's a lot of hands, I'm very pleased. If you haven't been, this year is your year to go to China, including my hometown, Hong Kong. Second question, who likes Chinese food? If you are in, I'm going to buy you all a Chinese meal tonight. Okay, a lot of hands. Okay, last question, who want to sell more your branded residences to Chinese investors? Okay, all of you. Okay, I'm going to teach you exactly how you're going to market your branded residences to Chinese buyers in China and overseas. So just briefly about me, I'm Sally. I'm originally from Hong Kong and now living in London. 10 years ago, I founded 11K with the single mission to really reach that 11,000 km distance between UK and China, and all the points in between, including Saudi Arabia. So we only do one thing, that is to help clients to unlock the potential of Chinese high-net-worth individuals and investors through the power of communications. And thankfully, we have been working with most of the luxury brands and branded residences, such as the OWO residences by Raffles in London. So that's enough about me. Today I'm going to talk you through why China, why we care about China. Who are these Chinese buyers? Why they buy branded residences? And what are the challenges of reaching them? And finally, how can we actually reach out to them and influence their buying decisions when they come to branded residences? And last but not least, a quick example how we can actually achieve that together with the overall residences by Raffles in London. So why China? So very obvious from a macro level, China is already the second largest world's economy by GDP. So still US leading the way and China is the second one. Saudi is around 1.1 trillion. So it's definitely growing as well. So that's why we care about China. So zooming in, so this is the map of China. So if I kind of zoom in where the money sits, so you can see the top 5 provinces. So Guangdong is the south of China. So it's on its own, it's already generating 2 trillion USD dollars. And let's look at the 5th one, Sichuan. Sichuan is in the southwest of China. So it's the whole Saudi economy. So that gives you some perspective why we talk about China. And zooming in, now let's talk about real estate. So macro, province, and real estate. So since I was young, my mom always said, if you have money, please buy a property. So that's just ingrained in our DNA. So Chinese people love property. And historically, we do spend 70% of our saving into real estate because it's real, it's solid, I live there. So that's why we love property. And like Frank recently also surveyed people in Asia and China, that 43% of people said that they actually will pay a premium fee for branded residences. Why? Because as you know, China is already the world's largest luxury consumers economy. So we buy into brand. We are already the biggest consumer. So that's why we understand the value of branded residences. And still, the China population of super rich people are growing and expected to rise by 145K in 3 years. So there's still quite a lot of rich people out there that you can market to today. And here, just give you an example, who are these super rich people? So historically, they are in real estate, in automatic manufacturing, and now Mr. Zheng, the second one, had just become the richest billionaire in China, owning 65 billion assets. And do you know who he is? The second person. So maybe you use TikTok. So he's the founder of TikTok. That's how he makes money. And that's who you are going to look after in your brand residences. So now we are in Saudi. I'm very glad to be here today. It's my first time here. It's so beautiful. I will definitely come back. So already from a Chinese Saudi perspective, that we are already trading a lot. As you can see some of the numbers. I'm not going into details, but just to give you some prospect in terms of real estate, on China version of TikTok called Douyin, over the past 6 months, you already see 200% increase in people searching Saudi Arabia property. So you can see actually people are searching for it, and there's a demand for it. And tourism is always great for business, for real estate, because people need to understand the country, need to understand the culture. And increasingly, we already see lots of Chinese people coming to Saudi. So during the Chinese New Year last year, so there was 800% increase. And you can see why Saudi is also targeting Chinese as one of the foreign visitors by 2030. And Saudi has made it much easier for Chinese people to come, easier visa. And actually there's a Chinese website, so it's easy, you can't not come here. So now let's zoom into the branded residence sector. So as I said, while there are no official figures in terms of how many Chinese buyers are buying branded residences, but logically, because Chinese people are already the world's largest luxury consumer population, spending $11 billion every year. So we buy into brands. So if you go to Hong Kong, China, you always see a queue of Chinese shoppers queuing for LV bag, Hermes bag, real bags, because they actually are willing to pay for those premium price. And in terms of branded residences, that's why they really want to show their lifestyle and their loyalty to a certain brand. So that's why they will buy into it. And give you some flavor, what are the popular hotel brands among the Chinese people. So some of you may know Brian Tree, Fairmont, Peninsula Hotels, Maier-Yip, they are all very popular among the Chinese buyers. And just zooming in, why Chinese people buy branded residences? So first by location. So there are different reasons why they buy one in London, one in Greece, one in Saudi Arabia. So all different reasons. But if I can just generalize the 5 top reasons, drivers of them buying branded residences. First, global mobility. So during COVID, lots of rich people really want second, third home overseas, because in case, touch wood, COVID happen again, there's somewhere to go, not be stuck and quarantined in their home country. So that's really drive the overseas property purchase. So now when they go to overseas, they have second home, third home to live in. Definitely a status symbol to show their luxury lifestyle. It's very much a personal choice. I would say even more personal than investment, while for other lower-end, non-branded residences, it's maybe more investment, but when it comes to branded residences, it tends to be more driven by personal choice and personal occupation. Other phase investment to diversify the risk. They are CEO of listed company. They are very savvy in their finances. So that's one reason. Diversification is kind of similar to diversify their assets. Finally, come to family legacy and education. That property, that is their own trophy asset among their property portfolio. And if the resident is close to a top university, such as LSE in London or Harvard in the US, so that's always can also help to drive the brand residence, which I will explain a bit more in the next few slides. So who are these Chinese investors? So if I can just give you a persona of this Chinese investor, so probably a man who live in Shanghai in the 40s or 50s, maybe with 1 or 2 children. So 20 years ago, China was still one-child policy. So as a result, 20 years later, so they probably still only have 1 child, but some maybe have exceptional 2 children. So that's the profile. Based in Shanghai, frequently traveling to business destinations. And probably he is a CEO of a listed company. whether it's an entrepreneur or established company, but probably they are the captain in their own industry. So you know who they are very savvy. They know how to make money. So you know how to speak to them. So in terms of like daily habit, probably in the morning they will read the Chinese news websites and WeChat. Anyone is on WeChat. So WeChat is what we call China super app. That's how we communicate. 1.7 billion Chinese are on WeChat. So if you don't know how to use WeChat, I can teach you afterwards. Probably will give a speech on in their business, looking into their overseas investment, and finally staying at home or have business meeting. So very packed day. So talk a lot about who they are, why they buy, but there are challenges of reaching them because they are very busy people and very well educated. So the first one is communication platform. So as you may know, in China, YouTube, Gmail, Google are all banned in China, meaning that when you go to China, it's keep loading. It doesn't work. So meaning that probably your English website is invisible, your Instagram is invisible. Like Chinese people just cannot see you online. So be aware that you are probably invisible in the Chinese world. And there are ways to build your visibility on the right platform for the Chinese audience. The trust issues, in the sense that if they don't know you, they can't trust you. So it's very important that you make yourself trusted by them. Again, there are ways to build your trust with those Chinese ultra high net worth individuals. Strong competition, meaning that you're not just competing with one country, but global. So when you sell your brand and residences, you're not just talking about your home market, but also your global market. So really understanding what are the reasons of those investors buying into your brand residences is very key. The fourth thing, that's why legal is so important and so interesting just now, because there are a lot of miscommunication around the legal infrastructure. What are the capital gains tax? Is it leasehold or freehold? So be very clear about that because it is real estate purchase. So I would say these are the four main challenges for Chinese investor when it comes to brand residences. So I can spend an hour on this map, and I'll try to simplify it as much as I can. So how to influence that? So I think from a business and communication perspective, first, the green circle is where you start. So you really need to understand, do we even do China? Because it is quite complex and quite daunting if you don't have the right partner. So what is your strategy? And I always want to say, please do not just assume magic will happen in 6 months. It doesn't work. So if you are really committed to the Chinese market, so think long term. When I say long term, probably is 2 to 3 years in that sense. Really understand who are your customer profiles. Are they the parents level, or are they the young entrepreneurs, or even Chinese students who influence their parents to buy the property? So really understanding who are you talking to, and then what is your sales process? Do you have a Chinese speaking staff? If not, do you have a Chinese agent who can help you to deal with them? So again, you need to think about all this before you do China. And finally, what is the success? What does success look like? Is it to buy 10%, 20%, or 30% of your brand residences? Then you can then talk about the communication journey, so which is the customer journey of a typical Chinese buyer. I don't go into the detail, but just quickly. So yeah, planning. Again, at least plan 12 months, if not 2 years. And really start building your awareness, meaning who you are. Because very much they probably don't know. They know the hotel brand, but probably they don't know you as a developer. So it's very important also to communicate who you are as a developer. As you may know that in China, there are a lot of Chinese developers collapsed and failed to deliver their project. So people are very skeptical about where my money is going to be invested in or put in. And really generate interest. So you're on the right platform attempts to speak to them? Are you engaging with them? Later I will tell you exactly what does it mean, but just to tell you kind of it's almost like a sales funnel. And encourage them to make inquiries. And then do you have a Chinese agent to talk to them, make an appointment, make a decision, and purchase. So that's just usually it involves 20 to 30 touch points before a Chinese investor will put £5 million to buy up brand businesses. So here, I won't go into the detail, but just to show you, the power of communication is that we can help you the 5 blue circle, and then when it comes to inquiries, then you can connect data and analysis to help you to shorten the journey of the communications as you have started building your momentum and people start to know who you are. And the final thing is more the sales part, like what is the sales journey? Do you have Chinese contract? Do you have remote signing facility? Have you already explained to them about the tax legal aspects? There's a lot of theory. I'm going into the kind of the tactics, so you know exactly how you are going to do. So I would say these are the common tactics that we see work when you try to engage and influence with the Chinese buyers. So media is still very powerful, I would say. Despite digital, there are still certain finances, property, business media that those CEO buyers read every day. So you want to be in those media. Social media, I'm not going to ask you to be on all Chinese social media platforms, depending on your target audience, which I will talk about later. Business introduction, brand collaboration event, this is more about really meeting real people. And like Saudi, I love Saudi because it's very much about people, community, and making those personal connections. Like Chinese, we also very value family and community. So knowing the right people will help you to fast track your journey. Here, give you some examples. So this is a client. So they are a Greek developer. They were marketing London Hills by One Hotels in Crete Island. So for this example, we market them to more like luxury resort destination. And we managed to get them to some media interviews to really educate people where is London Hills, where is Crete Island, why you should pursue a holiday home there. So again, you need to very explicitly communicate your brand stories to them. Don't assume they know where you are at. Next slide. Social media, so WeChat, how many are you on WeChat? We can become friends later. Okay, good. So only one. So I'm going to get lots of friends on WeChat. So WeChat is powerful. Once we wake up, we look at WeChat. So my mom called me from Hong Kong WeChat, my clients on WeChat. I got all my clients on WeChat because 1.7 billion Chinese people are on WeChat, whether you're in China or outside China, where I'm in London, everyone uses WeChat. And WeChat, I would say it's a super app. It's like all the functions in one app. You can even file defaults on WeChat, book your flight tickets on WeChat, so it's quite powerful. And on WeChat, there's a subscription channel whereby companies can open their official account. So it's like your LinkedIn official account. So it's like a WeChat official account. And this is one of our clients, the OWO. So we help them to generate content to really tell the story. So no hard sell. It's all about education, information. And then Webnote is like your Instagram. So again, I said Instagram, YouTube, Gmail, all banned in China. So we have all the other platforms that are equivalent of this platform. So Webnote is China version of Instagram. So again, I'm not asking you to be on all social media, but these are the most popular and most common channels for us. WeChat is more targeting the parents, the older generations, while Webnote is more the younger generation, so very wealthy Chinese students. Entrepreneurs, they will be on Webnote, so it's important you understand what platform target what kinds of audience. here I'm not asking you to do massive events, but really trying to partner with the right partners to help you to get to that buyers. So when I say trusted partner, they can be your Chinese family offices, Chinese immigration lawyers, Chinese education partners who have the sources of the end clients. So those end clients very rarely come to events. So you want to make friends with people they already trust, and then once you get the buy-in of those trusted network, then they will bring their clients to come. So for example, in London, we hold different events, so we partner with education firm whereby they bring their Chinese family clients to our event, and that's how you really build the connection and make sales. We also do private, this is in China, so we partner with a private membership club in Guangdong where they have their private members. So again, we host a private dinner for our client, and then they come and learn about the branded residences. So it's all kind of private, like 10 to 20 people, no more than 20 people I would say, because we want to keep it quite exclusive and intimate. Finally, if I can just use the OWO residences by Raffles to bring it to life. So anyone has visited this amazing development before? Okay, we have 5 hands, great. Okay, next time when you come to London, I'll bring you there. So OWO residences is quite special. So formerly it's a Britain's Oval Office. So Winston Churchill worked there. So 5 James Bond movies were filmed there. So it had a lot of history, legacy. It was kind of abundant for a few years, and then the second largest, wealthiest family in UK, British Indian family, Industrial Group, bought the site, 1.2 billion development, 6 years in making. And so we were very honored to be marketing the residences to the Chinese audience 18 months before it was completed. So because so to give you the price point, so 15 million for 3-bed, 85 residences, 120 Raffles hotel rooms, so that's what they are marketing. So our goal was really to educate the Chinese audience about the development before it was completed, because Chinese people actually buy into off-plan. Off-plan meaning they pay before the development was finished. So in the lead up of completion, we helped them to build the WeChat, get really good exclusive media interviews in China and Hong Kong. So again, talking about legacy, talking about the cultural aspect of the branded residences. And that's why people buy into the brand and understanding why I should buy here instead of somewhere else. And really making direct connections. When the marketing suite was ready, then we invited those important Chinese intermediates in education, immigration, family offices to come to learn. So Charlie Walsh, so happily meeting our network, and that's how it works. It takes time, but it works. So that's just some ideas about how you can build the momentum, educate people about your development before it was completed. So when you are ready, then you are good to sell. Some results, so the results speak for itself. 25% of the buyers are from Southeast Asia and China. And the client did say that they bought a 20 million USD 3-bed was sold to a Hong Kong family because the daughter is going to study in London School of Economics and the daughter needs somewhere else to stay. So the parents decided to buy 20 million USD residence in Oval while the daughter was studying in LSE, and then it will become a family trophy asset for their second home in London. And the benefit is that because it's linked to Raffles Hotel, so Raffles couldn't accommodate people for more than a month, and then they sent the Chinese stewards to stay at the OWO residence, and they managed to run it at 27K per week. So that's definitely a benefit between the development and the hotel, and cross-selling and send businesses to each other. Right now we are also working with Raffles London, so the one held the event. So that's why the hotel brand and the developer need to speak to each other, and for us as a communication partner, that we make sure it make it easy for both parties when it comes to approval things and telling consistent story. Yes, I think that's the end of my slide. So in a nutshell, for Chinese investor, make sure you are committed to it. You find the right partner to help you to communicate. If you don't know how to communicate, you don't need to be on all platforms, but make sure you're on the right platform with the right messagings. And please don't forget the after sales care as well, because Chinese people like to share and recommend. So if they like you, they will stay with you, follow you, and they will also share within their network. So I think it's the whole journey, the map which I showed you earlier. That is a very quick 30 minutes. I usually spend an hour on it, so I hope I did not speak too fast. Okay, any questions? If not, okay. My best friend I met yesterday from CEO of Club Med.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Jeffrey.
Thank you very much. Excellent perspective, and really enjoyed it. I think I'd like to know, would it be the same process if I wanted to invest in China?
Invest in China?
In hotels?
You mean branded residences in China?
Correct, yeah. So earlier this morning there was a panel session talking
about
acquiring properties, 3-star, 4-star, and then revamping them for a global audience. So maybe your perspective on that would be...
Yeah, will Chinese people buy branded residences in China?
No, international audience in China. International
audience in China. That one I'm not the best one to answer because we primarily focus on Chinese speaking audience. Yeah. So whether international audience will buy in China, I think China has a lot of work to do. Because after COVID, I think people are not returning to China yet. Like personally, I went to Beijing last October with my family. I think there's so many Chinese people, no foreigners. The foreigners have left during COVID. I'm just speaking from my personal experience. I think for international buyers, they will probably, why buy in China, not in other countries? I guess there must be some emotional touch. Maybe they have some Chinese friends or Chinese businesses there. Otherwise, I don't see why international audience will put their money in China. That is my personal opinion from as a Chinese perspective. Yeah. But whether Chinese people buy in China, that's also interesting. There are already branded residences in China. Armani branded residences in Chengdu, St. Regis in Yunnan. So we definitely see a trend, and it's Chinese people buying as well. It's close to home, why not? Yeah. Sorry, it's not. Probably did not answer the question. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you touched point on the demographics and the psychographics of the Chinese investor in general. But what if we are interested more of the Chinese, let's say, influx of visitors coming to Saudi? What would look appealing to them, and how can you help in that department?
Yeah. So hospitality is quite different. Hospitality, you want to go crazy. So here you want to be very targeted to only talking to high level, ultra high level people. But hospitality, you're really talking about that 1.4 billion population in China, as well as people living abroad. Then I would say you want to be really on social media. That's our experience with Buffalo's Hotel. Webnote, China version of Instagram, is the app for shopping, for destination, for travel. Most of the big hotel brands are all on Webnote. And you can run influencer campaigns to be your brand ambassadors. And I think Saudi and China, this is my first time here, I'm very excited. And I realized we have a lot of things in common in terms of hospitality. Like whenever I go, a lot of people give me coffee, chocolate, nice, like non-stop eating. In China as well, we make sure that you're very well fed, we feed you with a lot of food. And also the culture, we have long history, people are into tradition and culture. I find it super fascinating. I think just to tell the story that we are actually very friendly people and we have a lot of in common, like heritage sites, UNESCO, and we all like to do business. So China's got very business minded as well. I think just to, because there are a lot of mysterious misconception about Saudi. Before I came, I Googled, how should I dress? What should I do when I meet Saudi people? I said, actually, it's not as daunting as I thought. Actually, you all are very friendly people. I think it's that kind of break the psychologist's barriers. I think it's a huge opportunity. Yeah, I definitely come back with my 2 boys. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.